It looks like Sherlock Holmes has a lot of fans from around the world. Well, at least his statue does. Among his fans is me. But you can forget Benedict Cabbage Patch. My Sherlock Holmes is Basil Rathbone. But by far his biggest fan was Dr. Watson. So let's hear from him now at 221B Baker Street.
I'm going to tell you about a strange adventure that began in the summer of 1900, and the city had been rocked by a series of ghastly murders. It was here that the elusive murderer, knife in hand, was wont to roam at night time, searching for his prey.
Didn't you read about the murder here 2 days ago?
It's a fine thing. I take you out in the moonlight and you talk of murders. Let's talk about us, Violet, darling.
It seems to me we should talk about your wife.
My wife doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Violet, if I could get a divorce, I'd...
There's someone behind that tree. He's coming towards us.
Who are you, sir? What do you... No, you don't.
Each murder seemed to be as baffling as the one that preceded. Finally, of course, as usual, Scotland Yard came to Sherlock Holmes for help.
You've got to help us. I don't mind telling you the yard's at the end of its rope.
I sympathise with you, Lestrade, but I don't see that there's much that I can do.
Yes, perhaps if you'd come to Mr. Holmes in the first place, Lestrade, he might have helped you.
But the murderer hasn't finished yet. There'll be more killings if we don't catch him, you mark my words. Mr. Holmes, please help us, won't you?
All my information on the murders has been derived from the London newspapers, notoriously inaccurate in matters of fact. Let me ask you a question or two, Lestrade.
Well, anything you like, sir.
You've taken the obvious precautions, of course.
He seems to slip through our fingers.
I suppose you posted policemen dressed in women's clothes.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. But the murderer won't seem to rise to our bait.
Well, he's a cunning brute.
Yes, Watson. He'll be hard to catch. Lestrade, you mentioned clues that amounted to nothing when you checked them.
Here it is, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade. Yeah. Interesting.
What is it, Holmes?
This knife is a collector's item. It's at least 100 years old, I should say. May I keep this overnight, Lestrade? I should like to conduct a few experiments of my own.
Why, of course you can, sir.
Then you're going to take on the case, Holmes?
Now, let us say that I'll take it under advisement. But I promise nothing, my dear fellow. I promise absolutely nothing. Wake up, Watson, wake up.
3 o'clock in the morning, Holmes. You're still peering through your microscope at that knife Lestrade left with you.
That's true, old chap, that's quite true.
Have you discovered anything?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, what?
It's wax. Coloured wax.
Coloured wax? Well, what does that signify?
Oh, by itself, very little. But when you combine it with a knife that definitely belongs to another century, it does suggest a certain origin.
I got an idea. Perhaps it came from the theatre, and the coloured wax might easily be part of an actor's makeup.
Excellent deduction, Watson.
Oh, thanks so much.
However, my own theory would be that this dagger came from a waxworks exhibition.
Oh, wrong again.
Precisely, my dear fellow. It's a long chance, but I think in the morning we'll make a tour of the various London waxworks exhibitions. If my deduction is a false one, at least we'll have the pleasure of a busman's holiday. We can visit all our old friends who died on the gallows. Any tired, old chap?
I must say I'm a little weary.
If we fail to find any clues here, we can return to Baker Street.
Well, thank heaven this is our last port of call. I'm so dizzy from looking at waxworks that they begin to look like human beings to me.
Welcome, gentlemen, to the
Chamber of Horrors. Let's go in, Watson.
Creepy in here, isn't it?
A very comprehensive collection of killers, aren't they?
A nice chap and a fine actor, that boy.
Let's see, Williams, Wainwright.
Good Lord, Moriarty.
Hello.
What is it?
Look over there.
Mary? By George, yes. She was an attractive woman, wasn't she?
She's something of a femme fatale, Watson.
I haven't seen such a splendid female since we solved that case for the King of Bohemia.
You mean Irene Adler, but she was a criminal.
Exactly, and yet the same magnificent characteristics. Keen intelligence, courage, and unconquerable spirit.
But Holmes, read the placard in front of it.
Well, how very interesting.
Holmes, the waxwork is moving.
Which one of you meddlers wants to die first?
Look out, Holmes!
Watson! You're doomed, both of you.
I'm lighting this newspaper. It'll make an excellent torch to set the light to the nearest waxwork.
No! Don't burn my waxwork! Mr. Holmes, you've done it again. You've solved the case in a blaze of glory. Get the point, sir? A blaze of glory.
Yes, Lestrade, I get the point. Thank you very much. Pass that marmalade, will you, Watson?
Holmes.
You know, Mr. Holmes, you and the doctor were lucky you weren't burned to death. Never mind the chance you ran of having your throat cut by that maniac.
She was a suitable victim in wax. Prominent and successful murderer, with every intention of killing us both. Yes, we were very lucky, old chap.
Yeah, if you ask me, Mr. Holmes, you've been very smart.
No, I quite agree, Lestrade. I think you solved the case brilliantly, Holmes.
No. I want no credit in this case.
Oh, do you mean to say that you're going to let Scotland Yard get the praise, Holmes?
Why not?
Well, that's very generous of you, Mr. Holmes.
Holmes, I can't see why you reproach yourself.
This case had a clearly defined pattern, and I was unable to recognize it. If you should have occasion to chronicle this story, Watson, and I should prefer that you didn't, I would like you to entitle it The Education of an Idiot.
And Scotland Yard solved the crime. Apparently. And this is Scotland Yard, although this is the new Scotland Yard. You can tell it's the new Scotland Yard because there's a rotating sign. Oh look, a Starbucks.
Walkabouter's Guide to Australia. It is grim but funny.